and welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. My name is Cam, and I am a college student who absolutely loves learning. I create activities for kids like you who like to build up their brain power while having fun. Here at America Reads, we create exciting activities related to reading, writing, and math. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited that you're here because today we're going to be talking about some pretty interesting stuff. Today, we will talk about partitioning shapes and understanding basic fractions.
Welcome to Fraction Fun. This presentation is brought to you by America Reads. First, let's talk about fractions. Do you know what a fraction is? A fraction is an equal number of parts. That said, you can also think about a fraction as a part and a whole. Or you can think about fractions as slices of pizza. What do I mean? Let's illustrate fractions with a cheesy example fresh out of the oven. Take a look at the pizza on the screen. Notice that we have not cut it into slices yet. We have one whole pizza. Note that any shape or amount that has not been divided is considered a whole. I want to share my pizza with you, so I'm going to cut it in half into 2 equal pieces. Whenever something is divided into 2 equal parts, it is being cut in half. My half of the pizza plus your half of the pizza makes the entire pizza, our one whole. One half is represented as a fraction like this. The top 1 represents the half that we are talking about. The bottom 2 represents our whole. As we said before, it takes both of our halves to create our whole. Now, let's say we run into 2 of our friends and decide to share our pizza with them. Let's say that each of us wants 1 slice. If there are 4 of us and each of us want 1 slice, that means we need to cut our pizza into fourths, into 4 equal pieces. We already have our pizza cut in half. Let's go ahead and divide it into 4 equal parts now. There we go! We have divided our pizza into 4 equal slices. To be fair, we made each of our slices the same size. My slice of pizza, which is 1 slice out of our total of 4 slices, represents 1/4. Note that your slice of pizza also represents 1/4, as do the slices that belong to our friends. Here are the important things that I want you to remember as we move forward with our lesson. There are a couple different ways you can think about a fraction. Most commonly, a fraction is thought of as an equal number of parts or as a part in a whole. Number 2, the top number of a fraction represents the part of the whole that we are isolating. And number 3, the bottom number of a fraction represents the number of equal parts that make up our whole. Now that we've reviewed those important concepts, let's go ahead and walk through a few fun examples. Tell me, what shape do you see on the screen? A rectangle? Great job! We are going to divide, or partition, our rectangle into 3 equal parts. Note that the word partition and the word divide mean the same thing. Also know that if something is divided into 3 equal parts, it is being divided into what is known as thirds. 3 thirds make a whole. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at the bright blue circle that just popped up on the screen. Do you think that we can divide this circle into 3 equal parts like we did with our rectangle? We can! This is what our circle would look like if we divided it into thirds, into 3 equal parts. Now, go ahead and point to a portion of our circle that represents 1/3. Great! Note that any of these individual pieces is representative of the fraction 1/3. Now, do you think you're ready to tackle a couple of questions on your own? I sure think so. First, let's make sure that you've got the concept of fractions down. Let's say that we bought 4 cookies at a local bakery. If we only have 4 cookies, or have 4 cookies in total, what does that mean our whole is? 4! That's right, great job. Now, what if we decided to eat one of our cookies? What fraction of our cookies would we have eaten? Remember that the top number of a fraction is the particular amount that we are looking at, and the bottom number is the total number of equal parts that make our whole. In this case, 4. If you ate one of the 4 cookies, you would have eaten 1/4 of the cookies. 3/4 of the cookies would be left to munch on. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of shapes to work with: a circle and a rectangle. First, let's go ahead and take a look at that rectangle. Do you see the green rectangle on the screen? Great! I want you to go ahead and divide, or partition, the rectangle into thirds. Alrighty, now before I show you the correct answer, why don't you tell me, how many of our thirds would we need to highlight to represent the fraction 2/3? Did you say 2? That's right. We would have to highlight 2 of our thirds to represent the fraction 2/3. This was what the rectangle would look like if you divided it into thirds, into 3 equal parts. Alrighty, on to the last question of the day. Now we're looking at a circle. How many pieces would we have if we decided to cut the circle in half? 2! And what if we did the fraction 2/2? How would we show that since we only have 2 equal parts? By highlighting the whole circle. A fraction that has the same top number and bottom number is representative of a whole. If we took away that line in the middle, we would have 1 whole. Wow, let me just say that I am super impressed with your skills. Since you're doing so great, why don't we end our lesson for the day with some arts and crafts? Today we are going to make 2 tools, a fraction pizza and a set of fraction chocolate bars. To make a fraction pizza, here's what you need: construction paper, markers or colored pencils, a pencil and eraser, a ruler, scissors, and glue. Feel free to pause the video if you need to collect your crafting supplies. To start, select the color you want your pizza crust to be. I usually choose a light brown. Next, cut a circle out of the piece of the colored construction paper you chose to represent your crust. Note that cutting paper can be tricky. I highly recommend that you ask an adult to help you with this step. Once you've done that, cut out another smaller circle to represent your cheese. I usually choose a yellow or an orange. You are going to glue your smaller circle, the cheese circle, on top of your crust. Step 2. Once you've cut out your cheese circle and glued it to your crust, use your ruler to divide your pizza into 4 equal parts. Draw your lines the way that you see them drawn on the screen. You should have 1 line drawn across your pizza horizontally, side to side, and 1 line drawn across vertically, up and down. By drawing those 2 lines, you are dividing your whole, your 1 pizza, into 4 pieces, or into fourths. And now, step 3. It's time to add your toppings of choice. Personally, I think it's fun to top my pizza with pepperoni. I do that by cutting out small circles of red construction paper. That said, there are a couple of other topping ideas on the screen. Make sure to glue your toppings to the pizza so that they don't fall off. Also, try not to cover the lines you just drew to separate your pizza into 4 pieces. You want to be able to see those. Finally, go ahead and write the fraction 1/4 on each of your slices. Why? Because you have a whole of 4, a total of 4 slices. Each slice of your pizza represents 1 equal part of your whole. Now, if you have a sweet tooth, you are also welcome to make some fraction chocolate bars with me. You will be able to use both your pizza, the one on the screen, and your chocolate bars as fun future fraction tools. For this activity, you will need brown construction paper, scissors, markers or colored pencils, whatever you prefer, and a ruler. Alrighty, here are the steps. Use your scissors to cut 4 long strips of brown construction paper like the one on the screen. There's only one shown on the screen right now, but you are going to need 4 in total. Note that your first strip of paper is going to be representative of a hole. You don't need to divide it, just go ahead and write 1 hole on there. Next, divide your second strip of paper in half using your marker and ruler. Rulers are super helpful for making straight lines. Write the fraction 1/2 on each side of your dividing line. Remember that partitioning a whole into 2 equal parts means that you are dividing it in half. Next up, you're going to create 3/3. Divide your third strip of paper into 3 equal parts using your marker and ruler. Write the fraction 1/3 in each of your 3 parts. And finally, divide your fourth strip of paper into 4 equal parts using your marker and ruler. Write the fraction 1/4 in each of your 4 parts. Now you have 1 strip that is representative of a whole, 1 strip that is divided into halves, 1 strip that is divided into thirds, and 1 strip that is divided into fourths. Awesome job! And last thing, thank you for participating.
While I wish I could keep learning with you all day, it's time to say see you later. That said, thank you for learning with me today. I had so much fun. I hope you come back to learn with me again sometime soon. Comment below if you have any questions, and feel free to like or subscribe. Better yet, go ahead and do both. We will be back with new and exciting videos shortly. In the meantime, stay safe and keep on learning.